I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seed sowing, harvest reaping, man of me to me. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dream. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun. It's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram beat.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Peace, family. This broadcast is brought to you today by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading fundamental. Also brought to you by our sister company, binditbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to check out my outson's teas, the tea of teas, which are divinely prepared. Earlier, you heard the musical stylings of VH Bay Music. That's vhbaymusic.com. Be sure to get all of your everyday items and religious regalia at moorishhaberdash.com. And for your everyday Moorish trip, be sure to check out moorsachi.com, with all of these companies being powered by I.S.L.A.M Design Pros. Design your online business strategy today. And without further ado, we present to you Sheik. Peace, 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 peace.
Peace, Brian. Peace, family. How everybody doing today?
Peace.
I think it's
Excellent.
I know I'm doing good, man. I know with me and you here, we always on time. So I know a lot of our brothers are going places and traveling and moving to and fro. So we're gonna have a nice little conversation. Won't be too long today. Won't be too long. Brian, can you give us our Moorish American prayer real fast?
Yes, sir. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation, by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Shalom Malakim, I.S.L.A.M, Hotel, Islam, Amen. Peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 peace. Peace to everybody. Peace, Noble Alonzo. But I'm not a good drawer. But I hope y'all get the basics of what I'm saying and what I'm gonna demonstrate today. Shouldn't be that long, but it should be, how can I say, a refresher. Where we don't argue here on this platform. And no one that I deal with, even my brothers, that's not our mission. We're not here to prove no one wrong, or we're not here to prove ourselves right, because there's only one science, there's only one history. We're not here from no arbitrary religious, dogmatic perspective. We're here as scientists, and we have the right to be who we are, and you have the right to be who you are as well.
Islam.
But as we go forward, as a people, as we go forward of how can I say, us having a conversation of who we are on record books, to move from this level or this mental aspect of slavery, it really have to be a resurrection of scholarship and history, because it's only us melanated people that's out here arguing with each other. And once we have a clear understanding of all history and spirituality, I think we'll be better, especially those that interested in, intrigued with the type of science that we're under, the Islam, the type of Islam that we're under. I really think for our brothers and sisters to sit down and get to a level of clear understanding today, because we can't operate anymore like we don't know. It's too much information. It's too much, how can I say, goodness in the world to let a few or a tittle of the wrong representation make the whole movement look bad. And that's why we continue to teach righteousness here at the BBT. And we're here to be challenged, and we're here to challenge you as well. So with that being said, I just want to deal with a little bit of, how can I say, training reels Islam or more science. For those that may think or may not think, a lot of times we give this science for you not to do something, for you not to get yourself caught up in anything that's wrong. And the true map and the guide should not just tell you the good, they should tell you the bad about when you misrepresent who you are, when you get a little bit of knowledge. And I tell everyone, and these are grown men, don't let a little bit of knowledge that you just learned mess your whole life up. Because I don't have enough hand and feet to tell you how many grown men have messed their lives up since they so-called came into more science. And I say, more science is nothing that mess your life up. Now your misunderstanding of what more science is will mess your life up. So I'm going to deal with a little bit of the scientifical matter a little bit, because we can talk about this all day. But I want to talk about the I, the self, the law, the M, and the master. And I want to talk about symbology. When you really have to, when you start looking at this inner science from an unbiased eye, you have to understand the signs and symbols and relate the signs and symbols to the acronym. And so when we do the I, the S, the L, the A, the M in Islam, in our science, we know the I symbolize the I represents a symbology. The S, the L, the A, and the M. The I represents the crescent and the star. The S, the self, represents that chief cornerstone, that so-called pyramid with the detached eye per se. The L in Islam is the law, is the compass with the G and the 7 in the middle. The M is the two pentagrams coming together. The north at the top, south at the bottom, G7 in the middle. They're both coming together. And then you got the constellations or the zodiac sign. North, south, east, west with 90, 90, 90, 90, which both 360 degrees, which is what? Fall, winter, spring, summer. So I want us to keep that pictorial in your head as we demonstrating. Y'all with me, nobles?
Right with you.
Okay. Okay. I want us to be real simple because it shouldn't be complex. So the I, from the creator of the universe, it represents and is representing the mother and the child. From hence we all come. The S, the self. Each one of us is a trinity or a so-called unity. This being the symbol of civilization. The L, the law. The length, the angle, the width of the cosmic energies that mark us. The A, the M, the joining of two trinities or two unities, which are male and female. Those principles. The true end, which creates another I am. Because that's the only way you can create another I am. What? Male and so-called female. That's immaculate conception. There's no other way. So, M, we got the zodiac sign. Or we got the so-called circle. And you put a line down the middle, a line down straight down the middle, a line down in the middle sideways. 330, 330, 330, 330 on four angles. So you got 90, 90, 90, 90, north, south, east, west. I'm giving you in a pictorial. This should be so simple. I gave you all of the three symbologies. Get that pictorial in your mental hippocampus. And then I'm gonna draw a little bit, but I'm not an artist. So don't laugh at my art. So when we talk about that crescent and that star, keep that crescent in your star and your hippocampus. I'm not talking about I.S.L.A.M. I love all my brothers, but this is more science. I'm not here to debate anyone or to say, well, what about this? Well, what about it? I have a clear understanding on that, but this is what I'm promulgating. And this is what we have. This is what I am. This is what we're resurrecting for our brothers and sisters. Regardless of who or how anyone feel like it. We shouldn't be concerned about how nobody feel. That's the thing. The feelings need to be removed from what we're doing. And so when you got the crescent and the star, the I of Islam, that's the crescent and the star, the I of Islam. It's been broken down a plethora of times. the banner of the crescent and the star, or the flag, with moon and 5-pointed star in the center, is the insignia of the Asiatic of the Moorish nation. It's the mother of all national banners of the world today because it's the oldest. And the flag with the Moorish crescent and star represents the entire human race. And when reading or writing in any language, as I broke down at an earlier state, there are only two principles or principal directions in which one may go. Remember, it's lateral or cross wire or across. Think about this now. I'm giving you symbology. You should be seeing this with your eye. And or vertical, up and down. All other movements in other directions are just varying degrees of the two. And when reading the meaning of the crescent and the star, no matter from which direction the student reads, the moon is always first and is read in the following manner. From left to right, moon and star. From right to left, and moon and star. From up to down, moon and star. From bottom up, moon and star. Moorish Latin and its many dialects are read from left to right. Arabic, Hebrew, Sanskrit are read from right to left. Japanese, Chinese are read from top down. Thus the moon, the great female principle, can be shown to be the generator of all the apparent phenomena known to man in any language. This is what we should be picking up as masterminds. The three meanings of the moon and star, moon and sun, as moon and sun. The crescent and the star represents both the negative and the magnetic force. So we're talking about that feminine and the positive electric force when we talk about the masculine. The second aspect, woman and son. As woman and son, the crescent and the star symbolize the great universal woman, the universal womb or the matter, in its most elementary state, which generates or produces all forms, visible or invisible. When I say the woman is Mayat, the garden that produced food and life, we should understand that. These forms are the sun principles to balance the woman. And so, in the secrecy of Negro European masonry, because there's nothing secret with me, it's sacred with me. The widow and the son of masonry. I am the widow's son, in need, indeed, say the Masonic brethren, simply because when a woman gives birth to a male, he is her son. So also males are sons. And since all males are sons, woman can have no husband. She is therefore a widow truly. And it ain't no secrecy and none of that. That's all that is. The moon or the crescent represents the woman, the widow per se, or the feminine principle. So then when we get in mythology, the moon was personified by the Greeks as the goddess Luna. Remember? Luna. And in Moorish Latin for moon. The ancients associated fertility, growth, and decay with the lunation phases. And the moon factor is the mediator between the past and the present, therefore accumulating the whole story of man's and woman's personal evolution within the fluids of the body and the brain. The moon established an essential rhythm in the body and instinctive mind. Remember, as an ebb and flow of sensation and emotional experience, the moon is connected with the deepest associations of our relatives and our ancestors, especially the mother. Powerful mother-child relationships begin in the womb. Therefore, the moon indicates the mother's complex. Now, as we connect the science, the star or the sun represents the male, the sun principle. So in mythology, the sun was personified as the all-pervading creative power in nature, or the masculine principle. So these two principles are represented in Genesis as what? Do y'all know? These two are represented in the Bible as what? We in elementary. Do anybody know the answer?
Adam and Eve.
Come on, brother. Who said that?
Noble Brian Hicks, baby.
Ding, ding, Noble Brian. Come on. And these twin souls are the absolute expression of masculine and feminine rays of which absolute atomic self is composed. Stay in the science. The masculine ray contains a portion of self force, and the feminine ray must likewise contain a portion of the positive qualities. This is beautiful. Therefore, this is the principle of gender when we talk about the 7 Kemetic principles. These souls, therefore, contain a portion of each other. They constitute the sun and the moon of the self-creation. And this principle of gender is one of the 7 Kemetic principles. And when these rays become differentiated, they are still as eternal. They are still as immortal as the self, which called them into existence. They constitute the divine idea of a parent, and as such, they become the divine expression of love and wisdom upon the earth. This is science. That's why when you get into the science, when you get into the right science, your life change. The ancients seem to think all souls coming into their first human incarnation take in the sign of Cancer. And this sign has been recognized through the ages as the doorway into the life of those who must know death. That's an old saying. In order to live, I must die. It's opposite. And Capricorn, esoterically, is known as the doorway in life of those who know not death. Cancer is the symbol of the womb or universal mother. On some ancient Kemetic tablets, the moon and the sun principles are astrologically written and esoterically interpreted. That's why when I talk about the symbols in ancient history, when I talk about the theft of African prophecy by the Catholic Church, you got to start understanding when I'm talking about the zodiac and the seers. We just didn't see the stars with a microscope. The Dogon didn't just see the skies with the stars with the microscope. This is an ability that we have, that we passed down to our ancestors. That's why we're lacking. We're not using our whole hippocampus. We're only using a fraction of it. I'm telling you what I know. And when you use your brain, that ain't just for you to draw money, per se. That's for you to be successful in your right, in what you feel is right. How? Living your life every day. That's the success. That's the key. Because success is not measured by money with everyone. Understand that. Understand that. That's like when Lamarck was talking about yesterday, your Akashic record. All these things, what I show y'all, what I give brothers the manuals, I said, this is for you. You read your sign and you get all the tarot cards. That's for you. That's to understand your tarot. That's to understand your personal life. How to deal with your inner self. How to deal with your everyday connection. How? To people, to earth, to the other chords. Because we all connected by chords, if you understand what I'm saying. The sun. So we're talking about universal woman. We're talking about the sun is symbolized as a flaming splendor, a center of high, radiating in all directions. It's the symbol of all created life, spiritual and material, of all goodness, human and divine, of all creations, from starry systems to man. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about nothing foreign. The planets are offsprings of light and life. Mankind is the offspring of light and life. And in this symbol, we read the source of the human ego. This should be very simple. Another tablet depicting the symbol of Cancer is the moon. And here, Cancer is typified by what? A woman's face. I told y'all that's why they took you understanding and they say the Bible says you don't deal with astrology. Well, the Creator created the heavens and the earth, and He named all the stars. If you have any lick of sense, it named all the constellations in your Bible. What? Yeah, we broke it down in the DAP class the other week. This is what I'm saying. A God man will bring this out to you. How you going to know yourself and you don't know what's above? That don't even make sense. And if the Bible is written in analogy and parable and the symbology, well, what is the analogy? What is the parable? What is the symbology? This is not mystery. It's only a mystery because it was taken from you and others use it as power against you. And I'm telling you, we are the constellations. I'm telling you, we are the seers. I've been telling you this. This is what brings your relationship. This is what connects you to your children, the offspring, to the world. These are facts. But cancer is typified by a woman's face, unconscious in a trance, surrounded by the clouds. And this dreaming woman represents reflection. Her thoughts shape the coming of man. She is sleeping and knows not her powers. She must awaken and recognize herself. And this is the great lesson to woman, ever remembered by the creative power, as the mother of humanity, of the future. The sun in thy mansion exerts its highest powers. See, a lot of Moors, when they first came out, they talk about the zodiacus. In Moor science, the woman sits on the throne with us, and we have child, which is immaculate conception. It's no other way with me. This is no male. It don't work like that. Still another tablet of the same set. It depicts a lead or the masculine principle of the sun exerted on the physical. And here we have the symbol of the fire of the spirit. Keep this in your hippocampus. The woman sleeps and dreams, but the man she has brought forth is awakened and bids defiance to the fiery forces of nature. He has armed himself with keen knife and action, and with it conquered the forces of matter. Thus he also masters all forces inferior to spirit. This cannot account for the aggressiveness of male sons and their active fighting nature. The woman is passive and retiring. See, listen, y'all. They get us so caught up in the Roman times. They call it the pantheon. When they threw you out there in a gladiator, that was for the intellectual. To go, you go out there and fight the lions. Oh, you a jock? That's all you are. You're not an intellectual. You don't have nothing to bring to the world. So go get that testosterone out. Go fight the lions. You see? And as the last degree of cancer, water merged into Leo, the strong throne of the sun. It is typical of fruitification. And during the heated term, this renders the Virgo, the sign which Leo merges or goes into fruitful for harvest in due time. And you telling me that you don't need to know this, and I can show you how this is what the Bible manifests when you have a good teacher, and they can show you what the Bible profess, because the Bible names all the constellations. They all named in your biblical scripture. How can you stay away from something? How can you stay away from something? And this is the schoolmaster. This is what I be telling our brothers and sisters that's caught up in Christendom, that's what this science was changed in the Council of Nicaea in 325. They changed these teachings to Christendom. See, these is facts, and facts are stubborn to those that's under man-made dogma. But we're here to save who? God's people. For we connect ourselves back to the heavens and earth. This ain't got no to do with no color. Cancer is the clean and pure water sign, and the favorite house of the moon, which rules 1, your mind, 2, conception, and 3, water. The moon's strong place is Cancer. See, the reason why I'm teaching in universal science, because this is for everyone. This ain't just for no melanated or someone that say they this or they this. You can be ignorant. This is for all those that have a clear understanding. You can be adopted to this. This is a resurrection. I'm bringing something back to you. Who? Those that believe, those that understand the sound of my voice. The sun's strong place is Leo. These astrological principles are followed by the human sign in Virgo, or celestial virgin, whose seed fruitified and quickened. The water or the minstrel of nature was vitalized by the sun's rays. This caused the fruit or the harvest to mature. Thus, the moon and the sun principle can be seen in the stars as well as in nature. Nothing outside of ourselves. So now, when I show you the pictorial of low-level Freemasonry, because that's all it is, Negro or black, no disrespect, because 32 degrees, that's another analogy or parable in the Bible, in Masonry. If so-called Jesus died at 32 or 33 degrees or 33, that means there's no science in there. That means it's snowman wisdom. That means in meteorology, when water freezes, it's snowman wisdom. That's no science. These is facts. It's no disrespect to no one. If anybody come with anything different, they're a liar and ain't no truth in them, which no disrespect to nobody. I'm coming with truth. In Freemasonry, the brethren of that order are called sons of a widow, who are in need. In need, indeed. And it started in the Bible, that Haram Abith in Genesis. In the Greek, it's the Sharam Abith. Greek, Sharam Abith. They know what I'm saying. Every European that I meet, that's the lower level Mason, Prince Hall, not Prince Hall, but Scottish Rite, they know this. The master builder of Solomon's temple was the son of a widow. Now the word Solomon is composed from 3 languages. Morse Latin, the S-O-L or the S-O-L-U-S from son. Then you have the Sanskrit I.S.L.A.M or Om, A-L-U-M or O-M. The universe beyond the sun. Mysterious, inexcusable, infinite, knowledge, essence of breath, life, everything that exists. With one is liberated, and Ethiopic, Aramaic, on the setting sun. Woman is a widow because she has no husband, and all children enter the earth by way of a woman. She is the grand architect. When a lot of Moors, they start off talking about the Zodiacus, but then they figured out a way how to trick people, act like they can nationalize people, and they just went all off. And then you had all these people in the science saying they can do this, or they some consulate general, or they some, I don't know, some Count Dracula. One who can build a temple, a 9, a body, without the sound of a hammer or use of a nail. Remember, we talk about the tabernacle built without hands. Solomon was ordered to build the temple without the sound of the hammers. Haram represents the fire or the sun principle within man, and naturally the spiritualized mind with the fire principle must do the work of forming and shaping your temple. It is built without the sound of a hammer within the negative sphere of the widow. Haram represents the positive physical intellectual principle. I'm just painting the picture for we can get out of spookism. The early Shemites, the Ibra, the Hebrew, regarded the principal deity of each oasis as a goddess, and the next important deity as her son. Just when you talk about who the Pope pray to, the Black Madonna, when I started telling y'all about the Sibyls of Mami Wata, when you start seeing this, when I show y'all Artemis, when so-called Paul was on the road to Damascus, talk about going to colonize those native people that already had their empresses, their gods, and if they couldn't just change the whole thing, they had to whitewash it. And so they took the god Artemis, which is the Asiatic woman with all her breastfeeding the world, and they just whitewashed it. It ain't no disrespect. You can find all this through history. And it's no disrespect to no one. We changed our science because what we prayed to at first, and it's no disrespect, and you can find this. We dealt with the stars. We dealt with the astrological stars. We dealt with that. That's in our culture. That's in our African culture. That's what the Dogons was able to do. But see, man-made religion strip you from that. It strip you. It says all your science is pagan. You have to be able to see this stuff with a clear eye when you read the biblical scripture and when you in any other craftsmanship. How? To be able to bring out the science of it, to be able to bring out the etymology and the etymon and the language, to be able to bring out the culture, to be able to have a lexicon, to be able to cross-reference language so you won't get caught up in linguistic apartheid, so you can get the truth of the matter that's what's being displayed, and you can bring out the culture of any holy book because it's right there in your face. It's just written in a way that you must understand the cipher. I'm telling you, and no one can deny what I'm saying. No one. These is facts, man. The early Shemites, the goddess appears to have been the spirit of the spring, which gave the oasis its fertility, and was continually thought to reside in the spring. The sun appears to have been regarded as the spirit of vegetation. Spring can be correlated to the earth, and vegetation is an outgrowth of the earth. Here the spring is the woman, and the vegetation is her son. They called the mother goddess by a name which is found among all Shemitic nations known to history. It appears to the Babylonians as Istar, the Phoenician as Asteri, and the Kemetans as Aset or Isis. These earth goddesses can all be correlated to the earth sign of fertility, Virgo. All these were later changed to different names by ancient people so to fit and mesh within their particular tribe and custom. The so-called Hebrew, the Ibra, word for the female or Eve principle of the moon was Astarta or Astara, Ashtoreth, which apparently meant the self-waterer. The word for the male or Adam principle of the sun was Tammuz, which meant son of life. And this positive and negative principle, brothers and sisters, is also displayed in the Kemetan Sphinx, which has the entire body of a lion or Leo, male, and the head of the Virgin or the Virgo, female. Virgo is the sixth sign and typifies fertility. Stay in the science. The Virgo or the guard is the place where corn or grain is stored or raised. You ever see the Pope with the corn symbology on them? I'll break that down at a whole nother date. They take all your signs and symbols and wear it in your face. And they got us arguing like we did some Crips and Bloods, like this some colors. And I tell y'all, it's one nationality in many cultures. It's one nationality in many cultures. We are Moors if we're going to be a people today. Well, ain't nobody dissing your culture or your tribe, but we got to understand who we are as a people. It's the storehouse. Virgo was depicted as holding an ear of corn and later a sheaf of wheat. Kemet was the storehouse or mother of a child or colony of the governors of the earth. Therefore, the Sphinx is the key to where the earth begins and ends. And the word Sphinx is Greek. It means to join closely together. Fact check me. Virgo and Leo are the star, and Crescent and Kemet, aka Egypt. They are Alpha and Omega. Y'all still with me? We don't understand these biblical scriptures when I start breaking down of why a certain person or why these so-called writers of biblical scripture or Christendom tell you to stay away from your culture. Because that means you have no power. That means you have no power. And when I start showing you all your power, all your signs and symbols that you have, that we still have, they know exactly what I'm saying. Every religious person. So I said we ain't afraid of no ghosts. You can't be. You got to understand that you are the scientist. The sons of a widow or a mother are the only supreme beings who can stand in the form of one, a cross with both feet together and both arms held out horizontal to the ground. That's a 5-pointed star in a straight line. Like the eye. Whether standing erect or lying down, you still the eye. When standing feet apart and arms stretched, suns are representative of a 6-pointed star. And when standing like this, we represent the 5 great principles. Understanding, understanding, woman's universal perfections in the course of 9 months. This is the science that we got to know. The letter I stands for the individual who cannot be divided. And for man as supreme manifestation, which is the number 9. Also, it can cope successfully with the problems of life. One must get one's eye together by realizing that everything is the I, and that any attempt to harm another seemingly part of it will be just another painful experience to the evolving soul. You, us, are the supreme manifestations of the number 9, which is I. And to prove it, watch this. The normal childbirth takes place after 9 months. Number 2, man's average heartbeat is 72 times per minute. Number 3, the average step is 3 feet. 12 times 3 equals 36. 4, the moon goes through 4 phases per 4 months. 4 times 9, 9 months gestation equals 36 months. And now we prove that you are supreme manifestation, and that the following 4 phases of the moon capsulate that science. Because one, you got a new moon. Two, you got a first quarter. Three, you got a full moon. And four, you have a last quarter. Nobles, look, I'm not a great artist, so I'm not even going to draw. I'm just going to try to have you visualize it. Say you got the triangle, boom, and then you draw a line. So I'm dealing with the S of Islam. And at the top, you got the pyramid. You got the pyramid and the light coming off the pyramid. The pyramid is the second symbol in Islam. Its apex at the top, it indicates man's essence and spirit. And if the apex were pointed down, the triangle would represent matter. Stay with the science. The three equals. Size of a triangle, 1, 2, 3. They all equals. Symbolize in universal terminology the positive, the negative, and the offspring or the union of the male-female principles. So on top of the pyramid is the all-seeing eye, which stands for the I in you and I. The glory or light at the top. When you see the little like rays, the glory of the light at the top of the pyramid symbolizes knowledge, wisdom, and light. However, the capstone on the great pyramid of the back of the fiat note is not connected to its base because the masses of humanity are ignorant of their essence, which is spirit, their culture, and heritage. Man's status in the world is controlled by those who know. Remember, the gods of earth talk about this. The 5 percenters talks about this. His status is determined by the quality of thinking. He who knows all that can be known by intellectual energy is a god among men. The men who control the political and economical system of the world are the ones who have capped their pyramids. I want us to just have a clear understanding. Ignorance has put and kept mankind into a form of blackness and grief. But no man should grieve, for grief is the most serious of all diseases, brothers and sisters. Grief is a bad thing for us to have. Nature permits man to do nothing he or she desires. We are limited only by our own ignorance, our own laws and customs. I got a little more symbology I want to give us. So when you looking at, this symbology, man, I wish I was an artist, because you got the triangle, right? And then you got, matter of fact, let me just draw something. I don't know, can you blow that up, the screen up, little Brian? I don't know if you can or not. Gratitude. I'm gonna draw a little something so y'all don't laugh at my drawing. I'm gonna draw 3 symbols so you can get an idea of what you're looking at from the top. When people only look at things a certain way, when I say you got to look at it, if I told you how to read, remember I said in a certain language this way, that way, then you got to look at things all ways, all those certain ways to get the cipher. That's why I say this work is not for everyone. Because a lot of people be playing and they'll send somebody to a burning house and won't say that they're not equipped with the proper skills. I'm just doing something. So can y'all see those 3 little drawings? You got the pyramid, the S of Islam. You got the now when you think that's a square, but that's just looking at the pyramid from the top. You got water, fire, earth, air, and then the last figure at the bottom is a side view of the pyramid. Y'all catch what I'm saying? When you look at that pyramid from the top, it's going to symbolize the apex. It's going to be a view from the top. It's going to look like a triangle, a square, with an X in the middle, with a square in the middle. You're going to be able to see that symbology. And then the last one, in that last figure, you're going to be able to see a side view. I'm painting a picture for y'all. The pyramid is an example of perfect orientation. It is self. The pyramid is also built upon a square, just as man is born on the square. And the square base is a constant reminder that the house of wisdom is firmly founded upon nature and her immutable laws, and the angels of the square being silence, profundity, intelligence, and truth. They also represent the extremities of heat and cold, north and south, light and darkness, east and west. So, what I'm saying, y'all, man and woman is a fourfold unit concerning the elements of our own constitution, and the earth, fire, air, and water are one of the fundamental keys to the mystery of the Great Pyramid. The fields enclosed by the basic lines of the four ideographs is an equilateral square base of a pyramid. The top of, or the apex, or the center, is the all-seeing eye, or the psyche, or the star of the east. And the pyramid can be likened to the universal and the capstone to man, to you and I. The mind of man is the capstone, as man is mind. The spirit is the capstone of the mind. And the G, the O, the D, is the epitome of the whole of the capstone of the spirit. That's why the temple is complete only when the person, him or herself, becomes the living apex through which the divine power is focused into the diverging structure below, which we talk about mind over matter. I just got a little bit more pictorial and I'm gone because I'm not an artist. The majority of humanity's eyes are closed. And when the eyes are open, the conscious and the subconscious will be fully aware of what each is doing. And at this stage, the human body or the temple can regenerate. Meaning, the exact science of human regeneration is called the lost key in masonry. These is facts. If anybody going against what I'm saying, it's like, yeah, because you're keeping people dumb and blind. And a lot of our own people are doing that today. So when you deal with the compass and the square, that's the L of Islam. The ancient Moors, we are navigators. Moor means navigator of the seven seas, guided by the North Star. And in order to navigate, we use a compass and a square. This is elementary stuff. You use the compass in elementary, it's on your pencil. A compass has 32 points. 3 plus 2 equals 5. Life. And this instrument was and is used as a way of life for all master navigators like myself and others. The compass was and is an instrument used to draw circles. And the two legs embody the idea of a male force meeting a female force. How? At an angle. And this angle is measured in different planes. The right hand of man is the executive or the positive. So the right leg of the compass was taken to signify the positive force. And you say you don't like science. You don't like yourself then. The left hand of man is receptive. So the left leg of the compass was taken to represent a negative force. And in ancient masonry, the union of the zodiacal motion and, declination was symbolized by the union of the compass and the square. Fact check me. Ask your dad that's a mason. He probably won't even answer none of your questions. The square placed below is typical of the purely physical union of the sexes. So therefore, when you deal with astrology, which is your Moorish Quran, knowledge, order, rhythm, astrology, astronomy, and nature, you should know that. You should be well versed in those sciences. But in astrology, the inharmonious aspect of each constitute a portion of the square or an angle, which is 90 degrees, semi-square, square, sequi square, and double square, or opposition. And the right angle has been used from time to time as the symbol of discord and strife. And it becomes a fitting emblem, therefore, of man, woman, when united, when you become one from purely selfish and carnal motives. It thus represents the results of the ignorance so prevalent in the present day in the matrimonial system. Yeah, we got a little bit more and we done. Cause I'm gonna bring the so-called 6-point star together and show you what it means. I'm gonna bring it all together for you. In conclusion, the square represents the following aspects. 1. Man and his 4 essences, spirit, mind, soul, and body. The second aspect, something to build on, because all solid foundations, what they have 4 corners and a square, if we're dealing with architecture. Also, the angle formed by the positive, by the stationary male, the leg of the compass, and the receptive, movable female leg is less than a right angle. Therefore, it should approximate 60 degrees, which is the sextile or the 6 of creation. Therefore, the sextile is used to denote harmony and joy. We just dealing with a little science. So therefore, the letter G typifies or symbolize the generation of offspring as a result of physical form, union, stay in context. But in order that these progenies may be endowed with soundness of the body and mind, and thus become a blessing to their parents and to humanity. That's why the ancient Masons taught that there must be a higher union in addition to the physical, as indicated by the compass above, which is spiritual. The spiritual as well as the physical laws must be obeyed. The following diagram shows various spirit matter relations with regard to the compass and the square, and man's or woman's final triumph as spirit over matter. Let me show you all a little figure. I'm not an artist, but you see this figure? It looked like almost like 2 opens. It makes like a pyramid, but they're not connected.
Yeah.
Okay, so the presence of the right angle in that pictorial, the presence of the right angle, triangles in this is important symbolically, for the right triangle has been used for the remote times to symbolize spirit and matter in their inclusiveness. And when an angle is shown with its points upwards, it signifies spirit or the celestial. Reverse with the points downward, it indicates matter or earth. Now I'm about to make another symbology. But I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna use the symbology 3 times. Let me see how I do this right. Wait, no, that picture ain't right. I told you I'm not an artist, man. Okay, there we go. I think I got it right this time, y'all.
You take all demonstrations for love.
Right.
You're so funny.
All right, hold on. Let me see. Whoa, how and I do that? Okay. Bam. All right. So, you see this pictorial right here, right? At the top. Right there, right?
Yes, sir.
It's almost like the pentagram. It's almost like the C, but it's nothing connected. You see those 2 lines not connected. You got the line going at the bottom, then you got the V. But the V is not connected on both sides. You see that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now keep this in your hippocampus. We teaching. We almost there. And then I'm gonna connect the symbology. This should be very simple. We broke down Islam in a whole nother manifestation. Noble Lamarck did it in one of his teachings, but I just like to bring things back up the road to start synchronizing everything. This is the science of Islam. I'm sorry. Knowledge, order, rhythm, astrology, astronomy, nature. Who told you we don't deal with astrology and astronomy? Who told you that? Who told you that? Don't lie on the Bible, and the Bible breaks it all down. You just don't have the eye to see it. And you don't have a good mapping guide. That's it. So we must be truthful with what this is. We still don't know who we are. So let's deal with it. In masonry, that figure I just drew, however, the compass replaces the upper triangle. The compass replaces the upper triangle. So in this figure, the two ends of the spiritual right angle are below those of the material, so that they indicate spirit's complete submergence in matter and the temporary triumph of matter over spirit. So then, again, when you're looking at this pictorial, I have to change it a little bit because, let me see, it overlaps a little bit. Let me see, how can I draw it? How can I draw this pictorial so you can see it? Okay. So you got the upside down triangle per se, but remember, only a half of it is cut off on both sides, going the opposite way. I have to show you this pictorial. Like I said, I'm not a good drawer. I have to show you that where you can see how it overlaps and how it lays over, where it symbolizes different things. Now the first one, the upside down, when I showed you the V going upside down, it wasn't connected. So now just imagine that same upside down V, when you're making that upside down V, start from the left side, it's connected. But when you go down on the right, it's not connected. And then vice versa on the same opposite side. Are y'all connecting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So therefore, in that figure, more light for one arm is above the square. In other words, one arm of our spirit right angle is over the corresponding arm of the material right angle, indicating the gradual emergence of spirit from matter. And I'm going to draw this pictorial bigger, but if you got this in your hippocampus, you can see this. You can see it very simple. And then you got the upside down, the so-called V, bam, and then you got the right side V, but you got a little line. Then you jump over. You got the small V in the middle. You jump over and you got the little line. So that symbolizes the triumph over spirit, over matter. And that's how in masonry, when you see how the compass is laid over in their symbology, you can know what level of masonry there are in. This has a lot to do with symbology and ranking as well. But I'll teach that at a later date. For here, both arms of the spiritual right angle are over both arms of the material right angle. Not only has further light been green, but its triumph of spirit over matter, flesh, all the light that can be conferred on a master has been awarded to proficients, a neophyte. The symbol not only indicates that the triumph of spirit, but its resurrection, ascent, and dominion over all material conditions. That's why the union of the compass and the square form a diamond. Remember, I showed you the diamond in the middle. It formed the diamond, the hardest and most precious of stones. With the G in the center, it is the diamond and the rough. When grounded and polished, it becomes a diamond without blemish. And the so-called God, aka the good, within then becomes manifest. The condition is symbolically represented by the Ibra or the Ibra, aka the Hebrew. The letters Yod, Haveh, Yod, Y-O-D, H-E, V-A-U, H-E, within the compass and the square. And to accomplish this, one must master the physical, which may be done scientifically or spiritually. Therefore, before the polished Jew, the polished Jew-El, the polished Jewel can appear, there must first be the stone because of the G. And the G shows the initiate, the path that he or she must take. Accept it as it's found, but seek to learn the laws of workmanship governing its transformation from an unsightly pebble into a shining gem. We almost done. So, brothers and sisters, when I connect that, you see when I connect that and you get that so-called 6-pointed star, you see how I connected that? We got that 6-pointed star, Brian?
Yes, sir.
Okay, watch this. This is too simple. In masonry, in lower level masonry, the G represents geometry. Math has 4 divisions, which are 1, algebra, 2, geometry, 3, trigonometry, 4, calculus. I said calculus. Calculus. And you say your kid don't like math. I bet you when they get with me, they don't like biology. I bet you when they get with me, because I'm going to put themselves in it, they don't like macro and microeconomics. They don't like big money and little money. When we deal with the right thing, they don't like history. Because you're telling them Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. They don't like spirituality because they can't trace themselves in it. I didn't say righteousness wasn't for all man, but you are in all holy books. Geometry is the universal law of perfection, the science of which the culture Moors have always had, and which will always be in the hands of our kinky, kingly, queenly, curly-haired descendants of North America, Amexima, Africa. Therefore, the Moorish nation of the Amaru cannot be destroyed. So when you put that 6-pointed star together, as I close, the and of Islam, the physical perfection, the physically perfected man, or the adapt like you and I, we possess and is master of the 7 physical senses. We are in mastery of the 7 psychic senses and the 7 states of consciousness. The number 7 denoting the completeness of the physical life. It indicates readiness for transition to a new octave of endeavor. Remember, on that 6-pointed star of the Moorish nation, remember, is referred to as the Jewish star of Dawood, aka David. And let it ever remind you that the divine so-called Trinity, when you got one half of the triangle or the one half of the diamond, is reflected within you when you got them both together. And the lower triangle must be lifted up until it balances the upper and forms the 6-pointed star. You see, your life interlaced with your divinity. So then when you deal with the upper triangle, it represents man on the spiritual plane, and the north nod or a node, the north gate, and the summer season. The lower triangle represents man on the lower, the physical plane, the south pole or the Kahod, the south gate, and the winter season. Thus, these 2 triangles, brothers and sisters, are now perfectly balanced, giving us what? That 6-pointed star, or the symbol of the equilibrium, or the spirit and the matter coming together. They truly denote the existence of but one creator who is perfectly expressed in both the visible and the invisible world. In the analogy or the science, as above, so below, is what these triangles say. And these 2 interlaced triangles are sometimes referred to as the 2 tables of the stone. Remember, nobles, the 6th sign, the Virgo, is 180 degrees and covers the last month in the summer season. It's referred to in the mystical religions and the secret orders as the land of Nod in your Bible, or the North Gate, or the North Pole. The positive North Pole's electric current flows to the negative South Pole. Therefore, the 6-pointed star, sometimes called the Seal of Solomon, is mentioned by Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, 38 to 45. And he describes the 2 realms which explain the as above, so below principle. If you recall, often the star of Daoud, aka David, has a G and the 7 in the center. And here again, the G stands for law. The 7 runs on the ladder that represents the 7 Kemetic principles. So, brothers, again, the interlaced triines, they signify the true and creator reflected in creation. You got to remember, when I just take one half of the 6-point star, just take one half. The trinity of nature is the lock. Remember the European Eliseus Levi. No disrespect. He wrote the trinity of man is the key that fits it. The 2 triines signify the 6 creative groups, 6 powers in nature, 6 planes of consciousness of evolution, the 6 principles of man. All of the principles are synthesized into the 7th principle, because you just have one triangle. You got one triangle. We'll call it the so-called white triangle. And then the triangle upside down, we'll call it the black triangle. And then we'll call them both coming together. Remember that. Now, think about that. And when we connect them, it'll be like the snake eating itself, going. As we connect the so-called 6-point star, it will continue to go on and on. The supreme triangle. Remember the white triangle pointing upward. Keep this in your hippocampus. Symbolizes Siva, fire, light, celestial power, and also the divine unity in man, or they say trinity in man, ever evolving upward after its incarnation in matter, seeking more expression on a higher level. The reflection, the triangle black, the triangle pointing downward, symbolizes dark waters of chaos in which the divine germ is laid, and also the instability of man's nature, aka lowered, as unstable as water. So in conclusion, brothers and sisters, the woman has 12 outlets in her body, of which 9 are above the navel in the north gate, and 3 below the navel in the south gate. But man has 9 outlets in our body, and 7 which are above the navel in the north gate, and the other 2 below the navel in the south gate. And so what I did with the last symbology, when I take that circle and I put a line down it and a line in the middle of it, so you got 4 different pieces per se, and I put 3, 3, 3 in one part, 3, 3, 3 in another part, 3, 3, 3 in one part, and 3, 3, 3 in the other part. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 sets of 3 threes. 4 sets of 3 threes. Because I'm going to finish off here. That's the M of Islam. The crucified 0 is the last principle of Islam. It is the mark of the master, and it signifies that when one has completed the 360 degree of learning on one level, he or she must now embark on the first degree of the next. The quarter circle denotes the division of matter into visible and invisible, animate and inanimate, and organic and inorganic states. The lower half, that is. But on the other hand, the upper divided half represents spirit, divided into the physically, visible and invisible is the higher planes. The master symbol also represents 1, the 4 seasons, 2, the directions, north, south, east, and west, 3, the 4 quarters or essence of man, and 4, the 4 quarters of the dollar system, and 5, the 4 lunar phases. Therefore, the 4 lunar phases of the moon are of great significance, as represented by the 5th principle of Islam, because they have the most powerful influence upon all terrestrial life. And second, only to the vitalizing influence of the sun. Therefore, the moon exerts more power on Earth because it is closer than any other planet. And the last quarter is the strongest. And when the moon is full, it is closest to the Earth and has an adverse effect on the lower nature of man. That's why Luna is also the fastest planet in this part of the universe. For it takes only, remember, 28 days to make it to orbit around the earth. Remember? Also, the power exerted on woman is exhibited through Luna. Look at the science. The 4 quarters of the master symbol, 90 times 4 equals 360 degrees, is the number 9, the number of man, and every man is born on a square. The baby lies on a 90 degrees angle in a woman's womb from conception to birth and is in gestation for 9 months. Supreme manifestation. So that's what I want y'all to get a clear understanding of. We can even break down these analogies because this stuff should be understood. You should understand the eso and the exoteric of conversation and theory and thought and science so you don't get caught up out of context. So you can understand both levels, what someone coming at. I just broke down the 2 levels as an adapt. What I teach, you got to understand both concepts. Remember that. Remember, I give you a little bit of allegories because we already should know what an allegory consists of. We should know what a parable consists of. We should know what symbology consists of. In law, when I talk about precedent in law cases, write this down. Precedent in law cases, doc number, Free Information Act. You got to know those 3 unities. Precedent in law cases, the doc number, and Free Information Act. But allegories, watch this. I'll give you a few. Bay means Lord of the earth, meaning subdue the earth and make it yield all of the necessities of livelihood. Thus, the earth obeys. Thus, the earth obeys. This ain't got nothing to do with somebody say, oh, I'm a lawgiver out there. No, thus the earth obey. We dealing with the astrological signs. I'm dealing with the divine first. That's the only way you're going to be connected. If not, you outside of nature. Thus the earth obeys. Islam means I am the great. I am, namely, you and me, woman and sons. The L means the center of wisdom or gravity, the law of attraction, and the power of the human mind, aka education. Allah means the Moorish woman, who is the mother of modern humanity, male and female, of all different shades of skin or hues. Al-Quran means the chronological record of the Moorish nation, namely the science of the 12 signs of the zodiac, the universal law and constitution, geometry, the square and the angle of 90 degrees. King Solomon is the earth, which contains all of the elements, wealth, and the force of nature. Thus the earth is the storehouse for all of the wealth of creation, which makes it the wisest man on the planet. So also the human body contains all of the elements of the earth. Queen of Sheba is the 5 greatest principles of the 12 signs of the zodiac, namely wisdom. Remember, in the Bible, wisdom is what? Sophia. Understanding, unity, peace, and progress. King Solomon's temple is the body of man and earth. The body of man, the real temple, is created by mother from conception to birth in the course of 9 months without the use of nails and the sound of a hammer. Thus the human body is the temple of good, of mother's grand perfection, referred to in mystery as God per se. And the Union 1863 tradition, aka white, aka colored Masons, are a universal disgrace, violation of the supreme law of Masonry. There ain't no disrespect to no one. It's no disrespect to no one today. That's why the term Mason is derived from the woman or the woman's son. What's time? Okay, I'm on good time. Meaning woman and son. The W-O, the woe, is negative, aka womb. And male is positive, meaning the powers of the womb. A female are responsible for the creation of sons in the course of what? 9 months, which makes women supreme master creators of both female and sons from unformed matter planet by another son of a female. Phrase together spells woman's son or woman and sons, who was struck out and was struck out, leaving the ma phrase with the son, which spells my son. Thus woman, sons, and child, reproduction, comprise the great truant, the three in one of the universal supreme creation of humanity. Woman has no earthly father and neither husband, for all males sprung from her. And where woman come from, no one knows. That's why they took the praise from the woman. But see, this is what we did. I can show you all through scripture. Stuff was changed. When I show you the theft of African prophecy by the Catholic Church, that's why they didn't want you to deal with the astrological signs. That's why the signs was changed to Christendom. This makes her a widow. The term Mason also implies master or messenger, which simply means one who possesses scientific knowledge of the works of nature. And such knowledge makes one conscious of the fact that his or her universal mind makes him or her free to propagate truth, contrary to secrets, contrary to falsehood, contrary to imperialism. You see? That's why I said I'm free, able to teach this and to challenge anybody. That's what this is for. We have a history. When I tell my brothers and sisters, we have to agree to who we are on paper. First century, to be identified or something, we were Moors. I ain't here to argue with no one religious aspect or to say that you a Hebrew Israelite or you a Freemason or you a Christian. I hear that, but you got to understand that you a Moor. You got to understand this historicalness of it. It's not here to argue. Moors, we come from all different sciences. We understand the science. You can't put a Moor in a box. Watch this Moor science. The first day, Sunday, proton, positive, the center of attraction. Sunday is derived from Shamsun, Moor's Latin, meaning Sunday. Sulfur, gold, copper, granite, atomic elements from Mexico to North Canada, from New Orleans, St. Louis, Chicago, lies in the region of sun. The sun, the sign Leo, the Golden State, California. Monday, moon, electron. Negative, the circle of the center of gravity, which governs the human mind, feeling and muscles. Monday is derived from Cameron, Moor's Latin, meaning moon day. Water, air, salt. Silver, biology. The moon is exalted in the island of the Philippines, Japan, Korea, Russia. The sign Taurus. The third day, Mars, voltage. Tuesday is derived from Moorish or Tiu, T-I-U, Moor's Latin meaning Mars. Force of evolution, iron, steel, construction, industry. Mars is exalted in the union of what? South Africa, in the sign of Capricorn. The South Gate. Then you got the fourth day, Mercury, Wednesday, derived from Deus or Dais. Mercury, Moor's Latin, meaning the god of the forethought, namely woman and sons, the god of wind, and the creation of the world. In Northern America mythology, barbarian mythology, the planet Mercury, aka Mind, is referred to as Moses, Socrates, Prophet, Odin, and Odin. Day meaning Wednesday. Chemistry, the planet Mercury also governs freedom of speech, freedom of thought, and the press. The planet Mercury is exalted in New York and Boston in the sign Virgo, which is 180 degrees, the last of the North Gate. The fifth day, Jupiter. Thursday is derived from Judi or Judy or Juris or Jurvis. Moor's Latin meaning wisdom of medical science, health, wealth, progress, gold. In North America, barbarian mythology, the planet Jupiter is referred to as Saint Peter and Thor. You remember, y'all saw the movie Thor? The first two major mythical gods of the North American barbarian tribes. Jupiter is exalted in the region from Hawaii to California in the sign Cancer. And the sixth day, Venus, Friday, is derived from Fera or Fira and Frigga, Moor's Latin, meaning lady of love or woman, the god of creation of sons, unity, music, peace, enjoyment, and rested on the seventh day. In North America barbarian mythology, Freya is phrased in the sixth day. God created heaven and earth and rested on the seventh day. But in reality, woman and son recorded the names of the mystical gods as weapons of power over another, from which has resulted and human bondage and mental slavery on a universal scale. Venus is exalted in the 12th sign Pisces, in the region of Java, India, 360 degree, opposite of New York, which is 180 degree. And the seventh day, Saturn, Saturday, is derived from Saturn, Moorish Latin, meaning the elements of lead, tin, carbon, coal, dye, diamond, and the 90-degree span, or the 7-day change of the face of the moon Saturn, the time mark of the universe and evolution and restriction. Man, you telling me you don't want to deal with this? You don't see this in the Bible? The planet Saturn is exalted in the seventh sign Libra, in the region of Brazil, from November 1950 to 53. The descendants of North America, barbarians known as the Jewish, the Muslim, the Mohammedan, the Catholic, the Christian religious mythology, are founded upon Freya, Friday, and Saturn, Saturday, or the planet Venus and Saturn. The descendants of North America barbarians are also referred to in religious mythology as the tribe of I.S.L.A.M, meaning priesthood, tramps, thieves, robbers, murderers by trade as the result of ignorance owing to religious mythology. The Ishmaels, or the Ishmaelis, were in the Union of 1863. Ransom was one of their greatest procedures of money and land. The Ishmaels laid the foundation for Wall Street, the feudal imperial Rome. So I just want y'all to know that, man, because we can deal with this all day. But as I close, you gotta, brothers and sisters, in your Bible, when you read, when you understand that science of Hiram Abiff, the central character of a Masonic allegory, presented to all candidates during their initiation into the third degree in Freemasonry. Hiram is presented as a chief architect of King Solomon's temple, who was murdered in the temple. Designed by three Rufins during an unsuccessful attempt to force him to divulge the Master Mason's secret and password. Themes are fidelity, death, and resurrection when you read in Revelations chapter 2, verse 10 and 11. So the science of that aspect in this context, Hiram equals high ram. Aries is the ram. Hiram has more meaning than what we've been told in Masonic allegory. Hiram was a master builder who was robbed, hit in the head, and buried in the corner of the temple. But let's take another view of this, and I close. Hiram is in fact related to the defeated and unconscious Moors of Northern America, Al-Morok, known Masonically as the North Gate. The act of teaching and informing the ignorant and unconscious, aka mentally dead, Moors, is called raising. Aries, the ram, the first sign of the zodiac, the law of the ancient Moabites, the law of the ancient Moors. Aries is the first sign, the month, the moon of the true new year in the northern hemisphere of America. This brings the spring season and is called the resurrection of life in the dark north. Therefore, brothers, the sign of Aries is indicated on the mundane cross as the position of 9 of the zodiac clock. Aries the ram is called the third month, the moon of the solar year. Aries is one of the 4 cardinal points of the zodiac and comes in on March the 21st on every year. This is known from ancient to modern times as the vernal equinox. Remember, March, the third month. Therefore, 21 is 2 plus 1. It equals 3. This is the secret of the 33 degrees, the symbol of the Great Pyramid, the resurrection of the science of the ancient Moorish nation in the Aquarian age. And the zodiac is the origin of both religion and science. Know your law, know your truth, and begin freeing yourself from false doctrines and unlawful, unconstitutional so-called governments. You see, that ram, that Aries, that vernal equinox, which is March 21st, the spring, and then you get the so-called circle and the 7 with the indentions open, and then you could get the Aries again, which is the equinox, March 21st, and the spring, and you can get that circle lying down the middle, lying down, all the same thing. Therefore, the sun ram the earth. The sun rams the earth, resurrecting life in the northern hemisphere after 3 seasons in the tomb. Remember this as I close. Haram is the zodiac law of the Moabite, the Moorish nation. Aries the ram on high, aka uplifted. No disrespect. The Albion, the European, the Trelodot have been ruling the West with Moorish law, been ruling with astrology. You know, we know that. You know, we know that. We all know that. So Haram Abif is the sun. Haram Abif is the sun, which marks the months, the seasons, the signs, and the measurement of time and space during the Earth's annual revolution of 360 degrees. And the Grand Master is the fall season, October, November, December. The fall, the fatal blow, is December the 21st or January 1st, when the sun enters the sign Capricorn and ushers the winter season in the northern hemisphere. So I want us to have a clear understanding of this as we continue to teach this symbology and as we continue to teach the constellations and to show you this is in your body and what's above has to be below. What's in the heavens has to be inside of us, because that's how this world was created. No matter how nobody feel about their religious dogmatic perspective, you'll never get me arguing with no one with their religion. Never. I would never fall in that category to argue with no one over some religious dogma. But I can show you what's universal, to show you what's being proven, to show you what's in the heavens and the stars, what's in your physical manifestation. So I want us to have a clear understanding of that. Islam, amen. Any questions? Anybody got anything?
Just gratitude once again for all of the teachers.
Islam.
Thank you for the illumination.
Yep. I don't want to go too far. Like I said, I go too far, I get a lot of people won't catch it. We'll give next week with the symbology as I come full circle. As I come full circle of the equinox, as I come full circle of the 360 degrees in the 12th sign Pisces. And then we'll get in the first science of chapter 5 in our Moorish Quran when we talk about the workman tools. And I'll start with the Master Mason, the workshop of the mind, which is in our Moorish Quran chapter 5. It's right in there. And it talks about the working tools. And we'll break down the apron, we'll break down the trowel, the pot of incense, the beehive, the constitutions guarded by the tiller sword. We'll break down the anchor and the ark. We'll break down the sword and the naked heart, the 47 problem of elucid, the hourglass. We'll break down all these signs and symbols. The scythe, the setimal, the spade, the Holy Bible, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, the marble monument. We'll break down all this symbology, for we won't be confused. And then we'll stop at the path of the adept as we continue this teaching. So I give y'all gratitude, man, and I give y'all love for taking time out y'all day. And like I said, man, we are a people. And I'm not worried about nothing on the internet or trolls. I want y'all to be clear about this too. As you do things in the world, you know, you're gonna have so many people coming at you all different type of ways. On the social media, you're going to have trolls. You're going to have people saying this. You're going to have people that don't know you to accuse you and to false accuse you of things. That's okay. Stay on your mission and continue to help those that understand your voice. And when you're doing the good, everybody don't have to like you. You're not here for likes. You're not here to be humble. You're here to have gratitude and to teach something that the Holy Spirit has given you. That's what I tell people. We're not here to be worried or be ridiculed when we jump on the internet. And when you see different people that just jump on your social media platforms to be trolls. This comes with the territory. This comes with human nature when I tell us all. That's where we at as Americans today. You know, which I say, we got to get past that and see the good in people. Because when people do these things, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know. So I tell us when we dealing with human nature and we dealing with, how can I say it, a different thought processes and the 12 functions in the brain, we have to stay on our mission. And we have to give gratitude at all times. And so I'm giving gratitude to everyone that took time out their time today, those that continue to log on, those that continue to give donations to our temple and school, those that continue to get all their books from us, their regalia. And we're here to welcome you to come to class, to join us privately on StreamYard, to open up the cipher. Because I'm not here to argue over no one's religious perspective. I know who I am. And that's where I'm going to let it stop. I deal with the science of all matters. I'm not dealing with religious dogma. I have a clear understanding of all three religious rites. That's what makes me a Sufi and a map and a guide and a teacher, because I have clear understanding. But I want you to have clear understanding as well of who you are and what you're not. And only dogs and slaves get named by other people. Free men and free women name themselves and have a clear understanding of history. So with that being said, man, I give y'all love. I give y'all honor. I know Noble Alonzo is not available to do our benediction. Brian, do you have our benediction available?
Let me get it right fast.
Okay. I know Alonzo is moving. He's typing in the stream. Yep, Noble Alonzo. That's what he said. We are a wheel in the wheel. Absolutely. But after we close, man, I get so many people that jump on my YouTube page, Nobles, to be like, oh, Jesus is the way. I say, okay. Okay. Now what? When I say okay, then what? Ain't nothing they can say. It's like, I'm not here to argue with no one. You know, based on your science, based on your religious aspect, yes, Jesus is the way. Based on your religion, I don't have a problem with that. Let me know when you're ready. If not, I can grab it.
Islam.
You can give us our Moorish American prayer, Brian. I got it.
Okay, Islam. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our light, our salvation by night and by day through Holy Prophet Noble Shalom Aleichem, I.S.L.A.M, Hotel, Islam, Amen, peace, peace, peace.
And our talisman benediction reads, may the benediction of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou shouldst strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thy acts of love upon thy brethren, and do our best to shun all evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that we all might nourish the souls of all men. Let the truth be thy shield in the manifest battles of falsehood. Know that thou need not pick the lock to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft. For behold, the key to salvation already rests within our own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, inconstancy, there is still the greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah, Buddha, Yahweh, Confucius, whatever name that you give it praise, may it protect you, may it guide you, may it preserve you, and may it lengthen your age and give you everlasting peace. Amen. I.S.L.A.M, Shalom, I.S.L.A.M, peace, 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 peace. And everyone, man, have an amazing day, man, and peace and love to everyone, no matter what banner you under. I love you all, and love trumps all. Peace. Take us out, B.
Peace, 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 peace and love. And my pleasure.
mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z.
Once again, this broadcast has been brought to you by mypdfbooks.com. That's books with a Z, where reading funds the mental. We're also brought to you by our sister company, binditbooks.com, where treasures are bound. Be sure to check out my son's teas, the teeth of teas, divinely prepared. Don't miss out on those musical stylings by BH Bay Music. That's bhbaymusic.com. Be sure for all of your religious regalia and everyday items, check out morrishaberdash.com. And for your everyday Morris drip, swing by morrisite.com. And all of these companies are powered by I.S.L.A.M Design Pro. Design your online business strategy today.
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seed sowing, harvest reaping, man of me to me. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dream. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between, baby. You can ask the sun, it's an everyday thing. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram a beast.
Peace.
Peace.
Yep. Have an excellent day, Sheik.